Okay, we'll see how to create an R Markdown file from scratch. You aren't actually going to have to do all of this since I'm going to give you an R Markdown file to start with. So all you have to do is edit an existing R Markdown file. But to get started, normally what you do, you click on File, New File, and then you go over here and you notice we select our script. This time we're going to select R Markdown. And it asked you to give your document a title, and I'll just call it Demo. And you can change your name if you want to, and you're given several options for output. Right now we'll just use HTML, which is the default, although for your project you're actually going to select Word, but I'll show you how we can change that later. And say OK. And what it does, it gives you a file which is already an example of an R Markdown file, and it sort of shows you the kinds of things you can do with an R Markdown file. Now, of course, you can change the name. You could, instead of demo, you could say this is my first R, M-A-R-K-D-O-W-N, if I can spell right. And then I'll erase the demo. And I'll just leave my name the same, and maybe I'll change the name to tomorrow. I'll make it May 6th. And I'll keep output HTML document. And then it goes through, you can read through this thing, and you can see what it does. It gives you all the instructions, and it says, when you're all ready to go, you click the Knit button. A document will be generated that includes both content as well as the output of any embedded R codes within the document. You can embed an R code chunk like this. This thing here, there's 3 backticks, then curly brackets R, and then there's some R code, and then there's 3 more backticks. The stuff that comes in between these 2 lines here is R code. You can put as many types of R code, as many lines of R code in there as you want. You may ask for a histogram. Oops, can't do anything right. Cars, dollar, SPEED is in there. As many lines as you want. Just make sure that you don't get anything within a chunk that is not valid R code, and that all of your R code is within chunks. Okay? So let's just knit this thing. Let's see what it does. Okay? So right now we'll click on Knit HTML. And you see this thing. This is what we call a preview file. You notice that up here you see the title that I put in there. You see my name and today's date, or tomorrow's date actually. And then you see the histogram output as well as the summary output. And then there's the plot of cars, which just has, it's a data frame, but it only has 2 variables in it, speed and distance. So the plot just automatically produced a scatter plot of those things. Okay, so that is how you produce an R Markdown file. And you can actually open this in the browser, which looks a little bit different. What it did, it asked Firefox, which is the default browser on this particular computer, to look at that same thing, and you get kind of a slightly different look at what was in the preview file. Okay, but let's go back to, oh, I think I've shown you enough with this thing. Okay, so let's just wrap this up, and then we'll come back and talk about it some more.